back to my channel. My name is Elena and today I'm back with another video, but this video will be a little bit different. This video will be a Q&A video in which I'll be answering all of your questions that you guys have been asking me on my videos. So I've seen a lot of comments on my videos about different questions related to banking, how to move up within the bank and stuff like that. So I figured I should make a video just so I could give you guys a more detailed answer. Just writing down in the comments might not help you guys so much. So I will be covering all of your questions in this video. Hopefully I've got all of the questions. I've looked through all my videos and I found all of your questions and I've actually wrote them all down here so that I make sure that I answer each one of them. For those of you who are new to my channel, and this channel I make a lot of videos on interviews, how to get a bank job, how to succeed, how to move up within the bank, and just general career advice, interviews, and more. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. Oh, and before I forget, what do you guys think of my hair? Because I just colored it. For those of you who has been subscribed to my channel, you probably noticed that my hair is now black. Alright guys, so I'm gonna start with the questions right away and give you guys the answers. So the first question is, somebody asked me, what is the career opportunities within the retail banking and how can you progress from an entry level? Alright, so retail banking, there's several different positions. Entry level is usually a teller position. Or a customer service representative, which is the first person you see into the bank when you go to deposit a check or withdraw cash. So that's the entry level. After that, if you do good, then you move up to the next role, which is called a banking advisor or a personal banker. Some people got confused in my previous videos about a personal banker. They said that a personal banker is a totally different position, but that depends. Each bank has a different title for each position. So some banks may call it a banking advisor, some may call it a personal banker, and some may call it a finance advisor. So it's the same position, but every bank will call it different. So from a teller, you can move up to a banking advisor or a personal banker. And then there's a next role, which is financial advisor. Some banks call it something else, but for my bank, they call it a financial advisor, which is basically the same as a banking advisor, except you get more responsibility and you get a higher sales target. In my opinion, it's kind of weird that they have two positions that are pretty much the same thing. The only difference is the pay and the targets, but that's how it works. And then after a financial advisor, you move up to an assistant branch manager. So assistant branch manager is the person who usually helps the tellers with any of their questions. So they usually sit behind the tellers and they watch the tellers, like if they need a question, if they need an override, if they need help, if they have like a difficult customer. The assistant branch manager is the one who will handle all of those customer service responses. Some banks also call it a manager of client care. After that, it's a branch manager, which is exactly like how it sounds like. So it's the manager for the entire branch. The person is in charge of the scheduling, employee questions, vacations, all of the big stuff. So that's the branch manager. And then that's all of the roles within the branch. After that, there's something called the community manager, which is a manager that supports different branches. So it's like one manager for like 3 different branches. So that's called a community manager. And then after that, there's different roles, but for the branch level, those are all the roles. I hope that answers that question. The next question is, how was training and was it useful? So I think this question was training for the teller, but I will explain a little bit about the personal banker as well. So the training for the teller was approximately 6 weeks, and the training was, in my opinion, not that useful just because we watch a lot of videos. We don't do any like hands-on experience. We don't really do hands-on training a lot. All we do is watch a lot of videos and kind of learn from those videos, and I find it kind of hard to learn without actually doing the job. So that's how the training is. So it's 6 weeks, you watch a lot of videos, you have online classes with a coach who like goes over like some of the accounts and procedures and all of that stuff, and then you do get a chance to shadow other employees and look and kind of like observe them and learn how they do transactions. And you also get a chance to do transactions yourself while another employee is watching you. So the end of the training was a little useful just because they let me actually go up to the counter and try things on my own. So that really helped for me. And then for the personal banker, I think the training was really bad for that because I only got like 2 weeks of training and that's it. Moving up from a teller to a banking advisor, I only had like 2 weeks of training and I was left kind of lost, didn't really know a lot, and they kind of expect you to know most of the stuff, like for example, the registered accounts, how to talk to a client in the office one-on-one. Kind of have to know how to do that on your own. You don't get a lot of training for a personal banker. So another question was, can I become a relationship banker or higher position right out of school? So the answer to that is yes, definitely yes. I did have a lot of coworkers who worked with me who had a higher position than me, but they just graduated from school. So really it's based on luck, because some people will get into the bank from the lowest position, which is a teller, which is what I did, or some people will straight go to like financial advisor, relationship banker, any of those positions right out of school. You really don't have to go from like a teller. You really don't have to start from a teller in order to move up. You can literally just start from a higher position. My advice for you guys is to try to find a job in a higher position at the bank, because if you start from a lower position internally, it's very hard to move up and it's a very slow process. So if you get a job, if you get a higher position right from the start, that will help you a lot in the long term. Also, another point to mention for that question is if you do want to get a higher position from the start, you have to really be good at the interview, and you need to make sure that you do your best at the interview, because it could be competitive. There could be other people with lots of experience trying to get the same job as you, and they might just never call you. So you have to be really good at your interview so that you stand out among everyone else. And I do have lots of videos on how to pass interviews at the bank, and I'll be making lots of videos on that. So be sure to stay subscribed so you can watch those videos and make sure you do well on those interviews. The next question is how to prepare a resume for a teller job. So for this question, I can't really explain to you guys in this video, just because I have to sort of show you guys my resume and like an example of how to make your resume. So I will be making another video on that one, so stay tuned. Another question was, how did I go from a teller to a personal banker? So how I went from a teller to a personal banker was very difficult for me, just because internally, like I said before, it's very hard. It takes a long time to go from a teller to a personal banker, and it's a very slow process. So for me, like I had a hard time trying to get there. I was a teller for like 2 years, but it wasn't that easy as just like them offering me a position right away. I actually had to be like number one, like the best teller they had on the team in terms of like sales targets. Like I had the most volume. They're not gonna promote you if another teller has a higher sales than you, then they would probably consider that teller. So you have to kind of stand out among your colleagues and be like the best. Like you have to be the good at your job, not make so many mistakes, have like good sales volume. So for me, like my sales was really good. So that's why when I asked my manager, like I want to be a personal banker, he was happy to offer me the position. And then after that, I had to go through an internal interview, which guys was very, very hard. The internal interview, they ask like really hard questions, and I finally passed that, and then I was finally a personal banker. If you guys want, I can make a separate video about internal interviews, because those interviews are difficult, and I think I could help you guys with that too. So stay tuned for that. The next question was, what do I study to become a teller? So to become a teller, you can literally study anything. There's no specific program that you need to study. Like some people think that you have to study finance specifically just to become a teller or just to work at the bank, but that's not true. I have a lot of colleagues who have like Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Psychology, or like some who don't even have a diploma at all, like that are tellers, or like higher positions with like random degrees that don't relate to banking. So you guys can study anything. For me personally, I did study financial services, and now I'm studying business management, but you can study whatever you want. If you're not sure, you could still have a chance at the bank. The next question was, what kind of shoes or clothes do you wear for a bank teller? So I do have another video on this where I show different outfits you can wear, but I'll tell you guys quickly, like you do need to wear like professional, you have to dress professionally. So like for girls, you have to wear blouse and like casual tops. For guys, you have to wear like a suit every day. Most people at the bank would wear a suit for the men. And for me, like as a teller, I didn't really worry too much about looking too professional, but as a personal banker, you have to look very professional. You have to wear heels, skirts, and just look like a businesswoman. Next question was how to use LinkedIn to find a job. So for this question, I will also be making another video, because this question, I have to show you guys a lot of tricks and tips on how to use LinkedIn and how to find recruiters on LinkedIn. But when you make a LinkedIn account, you have to make sure that your profile looks good. You have to put all of your experience. You have to write a good description about yourself so that recruiters can take a look at your profile. And your profile has to be really updated, and then in order to find recruiters, you can just search for recruiters. Like you can literally just search like teller job, and you might find some recruiters who have postings about how they're looking for a teller, and they have their email address, so you can simply send them an email or even a LinkedIn message if you're able to, and you can get a chance to be interviewed. Really good platform to find a job. Like I said, I will be making a more detailed video on that. And last but not least, someone asked, do you need a license to work at the bank? So that depends. Some positions you do need a license, some you don't. For a teller position, you don't need any license at all because you're not really talking about selling mutual funds and stuff, so you don't really need to get a license for that. You do need a license for a personal banker. It's called the IFEC exam or the CSC here in Canada. So that's Canadian Securities Exam. You need to pass that. It's not a very easy exam, so you gotta pass that to be registered to sell. So you need that for a personal banker. You need that for a financial advisor. For assistant branch manager, there's another license that you also need. It's called, I believe, BCO, Branch Compliance Officer. You need that license. So you need a few licenses as you move up within the next level. So banking advisor is one license. Financial advisor, you need another license on top of that, which I believe is called FSA, Financial Service Advice License, and then you need the BCO. So those are all the licenses you need for each position. And that's all the questions. I hope I've covered everything. If I didn't cover your question, comment down below and I will try to answer there, or I'll try to make another Q&A video. Keep posting comments and I'll be making more videos like this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and don't forget to subscribe.